Hello and welcome to the Midday News. I am Ugochi Oluigbo. We start the Midday News with this story coming from the Code of Conduct Tribunal, where Senate President Bukola Saraki has been cleared of corruption charges. Saraki had been standing trial over false assets declaration and last month filed a no-case submission on the amended 18-count charge by the government. The two-man panel ruled that the evidence against Saraki was not substantial to continue with the case. 4 prosecution witnesses were called and 48 exhibits tendered, but the tribunal said the prosecution couldn't prove its case, adding that the witness evidence were fraught with incoherence of facts. It also ruled that the prosecution couldn't prove a prima facie case against the Senate president and failed to link the defendant with the crimes. Our correspondent Sifon Essien is joining us now via phone to talk more about this. Thanks for joining us, Sifon. Can you give us more updates on how this really happened today?
Starting from the ambience at the premises of the Code of Conduct Tribunal, it was devoid of its characteristic razzmatazz, known to be the order of the day when the Senate President is in court for his trial. So many people suspected something was amiss. Then the case started, and the chairman of the tribunal, Danladi Umar, sat, and he was quick to address the issue. He went straight to the point to indicate that against all odds, in spite of all the efforts of the prosecution, he could not link the Senate President Bukola Saraki with the offense for which he was being charged. And for that reason, the tribunal has to discharge and acquit the Senate President of all the charges, 18-count charge.
Quite unbelievable for many Nigerians. And as usual, the Senate is always shut down when he has to appear. Tell us about the senators or leaders who were able to go with him today for this hearing.
Well, unfortunately, a good number of the supporters were not around. You know, the case had actually been reserved, meaning that the previous hearing of the case did not indicate a date when the ruling would come. So the date was communicated in short notice. So apparently his supporters were not in the know or in the picture that the ruling would take place today. And that is why the premises was devoid of the razzmatazz which the Senate President brings to the tribunal each time he appears. It was just like every other day, but it was celebration for him and a handful of his supporters who were on hand.
For many Nigerians, they looked forward to this case. They looked forward to the judgment. They wanted to have a little bit of faith in our judicial system. Does this cast a doubt on the whole war against corruption? What are the people saying out there? Did you speak to some people? What did they say about this and the anti-corruption war?
It's difficult to say if it's going to cast a doubt on the entire campaign against corruption. But in the ruling, what the court has made clear is that the prosecution did not do exactly what it would have done to have proven its case. The court even went the tribunal, I beg your pardon, even went as far as giving instances or citing approach which it believes the prosecution would have adopted, which would have made its case better than it did, but the prosecution failed to exercise due diligence in driving its case. So based on the fact or the inability of the prosecution to drive home its case, the tribunal had no other choice or alternative than to dismiss and discharge the defendant.
Absolutely. We've always seen cases like this where the prosecution seemed not prepared. What did they really say, the prosecution, I mean?
Well, the prosecution, we spoke with the prosecution lawyer at the end of the day. He says they will study the decision of the tribunal and decide which way to go. But, you know, before the tribunal, while the decision or the ruling was being read, it became evident that the prosecution case actually fell flat because it was lacking in proof. You know, they could hardly prove that the defendant actually committed the offense. So that on that strength or on the failure to achieve that strength, the tribunal has to decide in favor of the Senate President.
So what does this mean going forward? The Senate President is free like a bird. We're done with the case.
Well, he's free like a bird to hop from one tree to the other. That's what it means, except the federal government decides to go further by instituting another case against them.
Thank you so much for your time, Sifon Esen, on the broadcast. We appreciate it. The federal government will take very seriously any attempt to cause violence or disrupt peace in the country. This was the warning by Acting President Yemi Oluigbo at the meeting with northern leaders on Tuesday. And according to him, there should be no doubt on government resolve to deal with the proponents of hate speeches. State House correspondent Maria Lasende has the story, but we would like to warn that this has scenes of flash photography.
This is an emergency consultative meeting initiated by the federal government to address the agitations by the indigenous people of Biafra and its affiliate groups. The agitations had recently led to an ultimatum being delivered by a youth group from the north to all southeasterners residing in the north to vacate the north by October the 1st, 2017. This high-level meeting, presided over by Acting President Yemi Oluigbo, is attended by the leadership of the National Assembly, Chief of Defense Staff Gabriel Olonisaki, and Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris. Its intent is to assure Nigerians that the federal government will henceforth not ignore hate speeches aimed at fomenting crisis.
We must be careful to recognize that we can only even begin to talk about getting any part of anything if we're together in peace. These days, wars do not end, and I'm sure that all of those who have seen or experienced war in any shape or form would not wish it on their worst enemies. This is not a time to retreat behind ethnic lines. Moments like this are not for isolating ourselves. And I want to urge all of us who are here, and of course the entire Nigerian populace, that it's a time for us to come together and to work together.
Oluigbo warns that the government is out to ensure the unity of the country, and anyone found culpable of making speeches that may lead to violence will be made to face the full force of the law.
As part of living together, of course, we know that misunderstandings and frustrations will always arise, and people will always complain that they are not getting the best part of the deal. But we must be careful to recognize that we can only even begin to talk about getting any part of anything if we're together in peace. God helping us, our country will always be a place where we can be proud of. Our country will always be a place where we can all live peacefully. And we owe a duty to the next generation to hand over to them a peaceful and prosperous nation. So I want to just emphasize that that government will take very seriously any attempts to cause violence or any attempts to disrupt the peace of this country.
Oluigbo will have similar meetings with traditional leaders from the north and leaders of thoughts from the southeast until all issues are resolved. Maria Olashainde, TVC News, Abuja.
The Taraba State chapter of the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria is not backing down on its demand that the state's legislators drop the open grazing prohibition in ranches establishment bill. The association, whose members have started a week strike, say the lawmakers should retrace their steps on what it describes as an anti-people law.
These are members of Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association, Taraba State, marching toward the State House of Assembly to seek the abolishment of a bill before the House that, if passed, will prohibit open cattle grazing in the state. The state chairman of Miyetti Allah, Sahabi Tukur, described the bill as a ploy to subdue the Fulani tribe, undermine and restrict their activities in the state. The chairman advised legislators to kill the bill in the collective interest of the people. The group threatened the breakdown of law and order should the House pass the bill into law, just as it vowed to take all legal means to address the problem.
Our purpose of coming here is to grab that is in this honorable House to listen to our grievances and throw away the proposed bill before her, which seeks to prohibit open grazing and establishment cattle ranching in the state without due consideration to how this action will affect our life.
On the recommendations of the local government chairmen, they are going to establish a corp marshals who are going to enforce that law. And in particular will give them power to arrest and detain without seeking permission from any security agents. It means that in reality, Taraba State wants to establish a state police to deal with Fulanis.
This is an agenda of Middleburg to do away with the Fulanis in the zone. We know have done it. Now it is Taraba. We must resist to this. We will go to any legal level up to Supreme Court.
Government will begin to act on...
Speaker of the Taraba State House of Assembly, Honorable Peter Dia, while addressing newsmen, condemned the threats by the chairman of Miyetti Allah, noting that the association was protesting in ignorance since the issues they raised were accommodated in the proposed bill. He described the protest as a deliberate move to cause public disorder in the state capital, as the group did not follow due process, which was the reason security did not allow them access into the assembly complex.
My worry is that a lot of people did not even look at the content of the bill. Because what he is saying outside here, actually, to me, it was actually different from what we read in the chambers.
I felt it is not a move towards the right direction, because we should not be seen to be crying more than they believe. And laws are meant in the interests of the people, not against their interests. So I felt the government did not do their handwork and were not prepared to do their handwork.
Taraba State has witnessed many clashes between Fulani herdsmen and farmers, resulting in the death of many and rendering thousands homeless. Event watchers are of the view that if the anti-open grazing bill is not handled carefully, it may lead to a breakdown of law and order in the northeastern states.
You're watching the Midday News on TVC News. We'll go on a break and return with more stories. Stay with us. You're watching TVC News. The House of Representatives has welcomed the motion seeking to immortalize the late Moshood Abiola, who won the annulled June the 12th, 1993 presidential election. The motion was raised by Honorable Member Sani Zoro, representing Gwagwarwa Federal Constituency of Jigawa State. He noted that the immense impact and implication of the election will forever linger in the minds of Nigerians. This was backed with a resounding voice note from other members who also supported the motion.
President Shehu Shagari, after his election, conferred the highest national honor on the late Chief Awolowo, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, in recognition of his achievements and contributions to the development of Nigeria. And therefore, if this same measure is extended to Chief MKO Abiola, it is not going to be for the very first time.
Chief MKO Abiola was a president-elect. He won the election clearly, and he was stopped from being sworn in by the then military cabal. Therefore, he is entitled to that award.
June 12th presidential election was an election that was universally acknowledged to be free, fair, and credible. And the right thing for us to do as a country is to officially announce the result of June 12, 1993 presidential election, and declare Chief MKO Abiola as the winner of that election.
Managers of the Bayelsa State Diagnostic Center should inform the board of the state of the art equipment in the medical facility and the quality services it provides. That was the Council of Shell Managing Director and Country Chair Osagi Okonbo as he taught the Diagnostic Center in Yenagoa. TVC's Ovieteme George reports.
Osagi Okumbo is interested in the human and capacity building initiatives of the Seriake Dixon administration in Bayelsa State. The Shell Country Chair and Managing Director pays a visit to the newly opened Bayelsa Diagnostic Center at Ingbi Road. He shares his impression after a tour of the medical facility.
We have gone around the facility and looked at the quality of equipment available here and the professionalism and enthusiasm of the staff. And I have to say I'm extremely impressed to see a facility of this quality in Bayelsa. And our advice to the team is that they should advertise it a bit more so that people know exactly what is available here. Some of the facilities are absolutely state-of-the-art. So a combination of great facilities and competent staff.
The next port of call for the Shell MD is the St. Jude's Girls Secondary School, Amarata.
I hope you want to work in the oil industry. Very good. Very good.
Osagi Okumbo charged the students to reciprocate the state government's gesture of huge investments in their academic welfare with conscious effort to be found worthy in character and in learning.
What the state government is doing, I think, is something that is really commendable. The state is investing heavily in your future. What you must do on your part is to paying attention to your books. You'll be reciprocating what the state has done for you if you really pay attention to your books and be well-behaved girls.
No matter what they take from me, they can't take away my dignity.
Ovieteme George, TVC News, Yenagoa, Bayelsa State.
Well, today's World Blood Donor Day, and the World Health Organization is encouraging everyone to strengthen the emergency preparedness of health services in their community by donating blood voluntarily. Vivian Enrique reports.
Solomon Ika is donating a pint of blood at the specialized clinic, a practice he says he has become accustomed to over the years.
I'm a member of the Red Cross, and we have been doing it and to save life because we realize that a lot of people are in need of blood in the hospital, and Red Cross have that culture of helping people. So that was how I got into the practice of donating. It's about my 14th time donating.
One of the key components of an effective health system is said to be a blood service that gives patients access to safe blood and blood products in sufficient quantity. But that can't be said to be the case with the Nigerian blood bank system. This consultant hematologist attributes the problem to the myths preventing people from donating blood generously.
Some people assume that when they donate their blood, it will be used for some rituals and what may be. Blood supply is highly inadequate in Nigeria currently, and that is because of people's unwillingness to donate blood. And it's all because of these myths that surround blood and blood issues in Nigeria. When you donate blood, you actually gift somebody life.
Another challenge that hampers the process of blood transfusion in an emergency is people not knowing their blood types or not carrying a blood identity with them. We spoke randomly to people to see how well they know their blood types, and their responses may not surprise you.
Is he A or B or positive? What do you mean?
My blood group, yes.
What's your blood group?
A genotype.
Yeah, I know my blood group.
What's your blood group?
BB. I won't donate based on the economic situation. To eat 1 cup of Gary now is very difficult, talk less of donating blood. So you need to replace, to buy milk and all these vitamins that will replace your blood.
I know my blood. I've done blood tests once. Okay. That's been a long time.
So you don't know your blood
I
now?
know my blood group.
What's your blood group?
OA.
Eh?
OA.
OA?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about your genotype?
My genotype is SA.
The A, B, and O blood typing system groups our blood into one of 4 categories: A, B, AB, and type O. After blood is donated, It is screened and cross-matched and then stored in the bank for the process of transfusion. There are so many health benefits blood donors enjoy. They include reduction in cancer risks, liver and heart problems. Vivian Irikefe, TVC News.
Important question to answer there. But Nigeria ranks low in voluntary blood donation, with experts blaming this on the daily grind for survival and poverty. According to TVC News' Kazim Olowe, the National Blood Transfusion Service Center in Abeokuta hardly records 50 walking donors in a month. His report.
The cosmopolitan nature of Abeokuta, Ogun State capital, and the road network in the city center may make it difficult for a traveler to believe that it may take a longer period to locate the National Blood Transfusion Service Center in the Rocky City. Driving through about 2 kilometers of untarred Iberekodo Road was hellish. The center, which was inaugurated in 2009, is located on the outskirts of the town and a bit difficult to locate. Officials of the center, who were ready to welcome potential donors, say things are not rosy for them because they only record a few walk-in donors in a month. They noted that they were able to sustain the center through sourcing of blood from religious groups, associations and institutions.
Well, let's say in a week, probably like two people in a week. So when they come in, we encourage them, giving them souvenir, we speak to them that they should come back again so that we'll have more in our bank.
An average adult have about 5 liters of blood. And when we collect blood during blood donation session, we collect like 450 ml. That's what we collect, and which is just less than half a liter. So if somebody have about 5 liters and you're just taking less than half a liter, it shouldn't have any effect on that person.
They said demand is more than supply. These they attributed to many factors, including economic challenges and ignorance. They also said many voluntary donors have vowed not to visit the center again due to hardship encountered on the road and want the government to help them fix it.
A lot more people probably would have been coming in to come and donate here, but they tell us the road is bad. So maybe if the road is repaired, it might encourage more people to come and donate.
They complained of poor electricity supply to the center, noting that the center spends a huge amount of money fueling the power generating set. They also want the federal government to assist them in sensitizing Nigerians on the significance of blood donation to safety of lives. Kazim Olowe, TVC News, Abeokuta, Ogun State.
It's very important for us to donate more blood. If you ever do, our handle is at TVC Connect. Share your story with us. And do check out our website, nigeria.tvcnews.tv, for the stories we are following. Thanks for your time. I am Ugochi Oluigbo.